So, my whatever, since this is Whatever Wednesday, my whatever is the fact that my grandmother, I don't know if she sent money or whatever, Arbor Day Foundation sent her some plants, purple lilacs. I'm not sure exactly what kind they are, but I've also started the show a little earlier than normal because I have to go into work a little bit earlier than normal. So probably not going to have the same audience that I normally do. And I got to turn around. Son of a... I've got to turn around. This isn't good. Whatever Wednesday means we get to talk about whatever the audience wants to talk about. So if you've got a topic you want to talk about, politics, religion, the Strait of Hormuz, anything goes. There's a limit, but anything goes. You guys can talk about, who's winning in the World Series. I know it's not the World Series right now, but you guys can get in the comments. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's going to be the whole show, asking people to get in the comments. This is Whatever Wednesday. We talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There's going to be times where there's some dead air because I'm waiting for people to get in the comments. That's what Whatever Wednesday is all about. We're going to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And if I have to, I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Well, looks like some fish in the river there. I might have to take the back way to work. Well, it's not really the back way to work, but I gotta stop back at the house to drop off some water that I forgot to take out of the truck. Goodness gracious. Yeah. Bear with me for just a few minutes. Get in the comments while you wait. Now we can get on the road. Still waiting on somebody to get in the comments to give me a topic of conversation here. Good morning. What kind of topic would you like to talk about this morning? Sweet nothing. Weather. want to talk about the weather? Your favorite, I don't know, pair of shoes, clothes? My Wednesday shows are Whatever Wednesdays, so we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Before I had to turn around, I was talking about Arbor Day Foundation and the plants that they sent my grandmother, and she asked me to plant them out for her. She got 10 Norway spruce and 2 purple lilac. I think they're all rooted, of course. I'm going to try to get them planted out this afternoon. Music. Pretty much the only music I listen to is Christian music. Preference. And my day is started. It's 6:51 in the morning. I mean, there's planets and whatnot, but that's a small amount of something in a space that has nothing, for the most part. I mean, Artemis 2 or it's cool. We should have been there, 25, 30 years ago. We should have at least a science base on the moon by now. Oh, I guess we'll change the topic then. Figured you'd stick around and talk about the topic that you brought up. So the next person that comes in, if they've got a topic they would like to talk about, feel free to get in the comments. Stick around for a while. My kind of default is talking about plants and farming and gardening. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I live stream in the mornings, usually between 7:15 and 8:15 in the morning. But this morning's a little different, of course. I've got to get to work a half hour early, so that doesn't really work. But again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, today is Wednesday, so it's Whatever Wednesday. Friday will be Farm Friday, where we focus on things growing in my garden, or your garden. And then on Monday is Ministry Monday, where we talk about Christianity and religious things and the Bible. And so if any of that interests you, please subscribe, double tap the screen, give me a like. Of course, when my employer asked me to come in early, it messes up it doesn't mess up my schedule, but messes me up because I'm used to doing things a certain way, whatever. So I was like maybe a minute down the road, and I look back behind the seat in the truck here, and I've got 3-gallon jugs of water that I filled last night at my mother's house. So I had to turn around, and now I'm taking, the back road out to Route 2. Anybody drink coffee in the morning? Maybe some tea? Anybody still read the newspaper? That's probably a rare thing nowadays, ain't it? Physical newspaper, not digital. So, here's since I'm going to be talking about whatever I want to talk about, this stretch of region between Lincoln and Old Town. There seems to be very little or no culture. What is the thing that makes this area stand out? And the only thing I can think of is trees. There's trees everywhere, right? So instead of doing the same thing everybody else does and not making a whole lot of money at it, why not create a culture of growing something besides trees? I mean, trees are good. I've got trees in my nursery. I've got white spruce, I've got Norway spruce. Lilac is technically a tree. I've got apple tree cuttings. I don't know how well they're doing, but so, it's Whatever Wednesday. I get to talk about whatever I want. This afternoon, I'm going over to a friend's house, sort of a family member in a way. It's my wife's nephew, cousin, I don't know. He's struggling with, he streams on Twitch, hasn't done it in a while. And as far as I can tell, he's frustrated because he's not making the same progress that his wife is making doing Twitch. And I'm trying to get it across to him that men and women are different. Women that stream are automatically going to have an audience. Men that stream by themselves don't have an audience. We have to build our audience. You know, YouTube's a little bit easier, I think, because there's a little bit of community that supports the channel. There's no way to build a community just on Twitch, as far as I can tell. So he's just getting into Minecraft. It's kind of a, same situation I was in when I got into Minecraft. I was a full-grown adult when I got into it, and it's been, 10 years that I've been playing Minecraft. And I want to get him, or help him, have some kind of interaction, not just with the audience, but with somebody in the room, because I have the same problem. Streaming by myself, sometimes there's dead air. I just won't talk for a while. And that's one of the hardest things a streamer, one of the biggest problems a streamer has is filling the dead air. I could just ramble on about stuff and fill the air, but it's not going to be good content. But back to my buddy there, family member, however you want to look at it. Me being in the room playing with him, playing Minecraft with him, will give him somebody to, talk with, so there's not a whole bunch of dead space, dead air. And then we've also got to focus on taking the live stream, cutting it down into clips to post on YouTube. Getting on other social media platforms so that we can expand the reach of his community, basically. Gonna set up a Discord server. That's not super difficult. Start sharing screenshots on Reddit. I've really gotten into Reddit the last, couple of weeks. It's something about Reddit where it's almost immediate community interaction. First and foremost, I'm a Christian, but I also have some hobbies. I play tabletop role-playing games. I play video games. There's nothing wrong with doing those things as long as God comes first. 26 people. We're talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, for sure. We've talked about plants. We've talked about streaming. We've talked about music. So if you guys want to get in the comments about what you want to talk about this morning, that would be awesome. Do you like peanut butter or do you prefer like Nutella? That's a good one. I mean, depends on the situation, I guess. Peanut butter is like the everyday thing that you put on your crackers or whatever, and Nutella is like that Sunday morning wheat toast without the crust, right? Oh, I went this way thinking I could bypass some of the buses. The answer is no. Oh, it's getting quite warm in here. Gotta open the window. There we go. In my local town here, somebody's starting up a outdoor motorsport park or whatever it is, backwoods motorsport park. I'm not sure what kind of progress they're making because that's not really my thing. But it'd be cool to have something, because that's what I was talking about earlier with culture. There's no culture here in this area between Old Town and Lincoln. It's a, what is that, 30 or 40 mile stretch of nothing. Just woods. I'd like to know what's going in the swamp. Looks like big green leaves. But whatever Wednesdays are my, because of my ADHD and I get to bounce around and kind of figure out what everybody wants to talk about without people actually telling me what they want to talk about. So let's go back to talking about my buddy there doing the streaming, playing Minecraft. I don't know if there's other games that he wants to stream, but I'm trying to get it across to him. If you're going to turn the system on, you might as well be streaming, because that would create consistency without him actually trying to do any extra steps. Time attacks? What is that? Just random bunch of letters? Okay. Random bunch of letters. Oh, I'm stuck behind this bus. But yeah, I just want to get him so that he's consistently, when he turns the system on, turn on Twitch, start streaming. Doesn't matter if you're streaming to nobody. Give me a second. I gotta pay attention to traffic here. So, yeah, I'm going over there this afternoon, try to, in some way, instigate or incentivize him to just try to switch his thinking. Instead of trying to build a community and then streaming, just start streaming, and the community should follow. From all the stuff I've read and the videos I've watched, the community will come. But you've also got to have other platforms like Discord and Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, I guess. I don't know. I think I had a Twitter account at one point, but I never really used it. I like Reddit a lot more. Does anybody have a 45-minute commute in the morning like me? 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. Oh, goodness, heartburn from that coffee. Anybody had an English muffin this morning? I'd love to have an English muffin in the morning, or a bagel, like an everything bagel, maybe an onion bagel, some cream cheese. But we live off the grid. We don't have a refrigerator. We live pretty simply. everybody else live off the grid. It's not horrible once you get used to it. You know, I was thinking about a friend of mine that I talked to yesterday. They're having troubles where they're living, him and his girlfriend. I guess they're getting evicted, and right now they're using a generator. It's a really tough situation. But I try to remember that my intentional community that I'm trying to build isn't going to be for everybody. You know, a lot of people just want to be able to sit and play on their PlayStation all day or Xbox. My community isn't a flop house. Unless you're making money from your streaming, that's not going to be your primary thing that you're doing. There's going to be yard work, garden work, farm work. You can't just have people sitting around all day. It would be nice to have, you know, I was talking to, would it be my stepdaughter's husband about, you know, once the community's kind of started to build up, we'll have the space in the building to, if anybody wants to live stream, they can. But again, they got to be making money from it or working towards making money from it, having a plan, a business plan. My streaming is different because it's just me doing a podcast. On Wednesdays, that's today, is Whatever Wednesday, so we talk about whatever the audience wants to talk about. And the last person to comment just put a bunch of random letters and numbers together. Bunch of gibberish. I think one of the big things that a lot of streamers, especially Minecraft streamers, because I'll get to that in a second, but they forget that in order to make progress, you've got to have a job board, like your own quest board. Like, they build this building, set this thing up. Talk your way through it. That wasn't good. Talk your way through it. Okay, today we're going to be building this building. It's going to do this certain thing. And then just kind of like you're talking to yourself. That's kind of how I've started to look at it. Talking to myself, not really paying attention to the screen. I'll look at it every once in a while. I got a few people watching. Glad everybody's watching, hanging out. Oh, this guy behind me is in quite a hurry. Every once in a while, I'll check the comments. But the one thing I do enjoy about Minecraft, whether it's survival or creative, is it lets me express my creative side. It's a I don't know what the word is, but it's an outlet. It lets me get out my creative processes. Because a lot of times something will get stuck in my head, like a song, I've got to listen to it over and over again until I get bored of it. Then the song's out of my head. Or an idea. If it wasn't today, I would have grabbed that. One of the worlds that I've started on Minecraft is just building a very small little settlement with a couple of villagers. And eventually that little settlement's going to evolve into, you know, a village or a town. And then I'm going to use the villages and the towns that I create in Minecraft as the map for a tabletop role-playing game map. Then I can build out some lore and some NPCs, some quest lines. Anybody else play Minecraft? It's a pretty common game for all ages. Been working on putting together actually a Minecraft YouTube channel. Start recording some of the stuff that I'm doing. Well, it's not actually Minecraft, I guess it's a knockoff, Mineclonia. Play on my Chromebook, but it's basically the same thing. All the redstone works the same way. It's actually easier to use command blocks, if that interests anybody. Instead of having to type in a command to, change the time of day if it's nighttime, I can just either press a button or walk over a pressure plate. That's a fun little trick. Or clear the weather, so it's good weather. Teleportation, that's a fun one, so you don't have to walk everywhere. Oh, is this bus gonna make me stop? Let me go by, please. Thank you. Sorry. That's the problem with leaving a half hour earlier. I gotta deal with different bus schedules. So I'm sure the people that are watching now weren't watching when I first got started this morning. But my grandmother is a member of Arbor Day Foundation, I guess, and they sent her some plants. She got 10 Norway spruce, 2 purple lilacs. I'm gonna plant those out this afternoon. Hopefully they do well so I can get some cuttings from both. I guess people were more interested in Minecraft than plants. Oh, my rhubarb is growing up. Yeah. So if you play Minecraft, do you play in survival or creative? I've been playing a lot of creative lately, and I was telling my wife last night that I want to switch back to survival. Even though I play in peaceful, it's a whole different thing, Start from nothing and have to build up your resources and figure out your building palette and all that good stuff. Is anybody getting ready to head to work this morning? I know I am. Huh. Just look down that little road there and there's a white garage with a little, I wouldn't say little, but some garages have towers on them, like 2-3 foot towers on them. And that one was bright pink compared to the white garage. For some reason, last night when I was unloading wood chips, it was super buggy. And the whole reason we're putting wood chips down is so that there's no standing water to allow bugs and mosquitoes and whatnot to breed. Maybe it was just the time of the day, or not really sure. I mean, it is getting to that point where it's bug season, mosquito season. Oh, Minecraft. If we get back to Minecraft, will the number go back up? That seemed to work. Minecraft is an enjoyable experience. For some reason, Mineclonia doesn't have very good controller support, and it's a touchscreen game because it's on an Android operating system, so even a mouse doesn't work the same way. I wish it did, because then I'd be able to, play with aggressive mobs. With the mouse, the touchpad, and the regular keyboard controls, it's just not possible. Not for me, anyways. Like I said, if I had a controller that would work, or playing actual Minecraft, I'd be able to play with aggressive mobs and be able to bug fly in my face. Now we're down onto the big road. Wow, this is kind of not the big road, but it is one of the longer roads that I'm on. And since I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, I've been looking at buildings and trying to figure out what blocks I would use to build the buildings that I'm looking at. Excuse me. Since it is Whatever Wednesday, should have just left a little earlier than early to pick up some of this scrap metal, but I want to make sure I get to work on time, at least early enough to get some coffee into me, get a cigarette into me. Oh wow, that stream is like flowing. Let's pick up the pace a little bit here. Is there anybody that's watching that, it's not as popular now, but when I was a kid, the little plastic car kits that you could glue together, I think the only place you can really find that stuff now is like Hobby Lobby or online. My buddy there I'm trying to get him to stream again, he has a 3D printer, and I thought about maybe not all the intricate pieces, but 3D printing some cars just to see how the process would work. I can't imagine it would be too difficult. Something metal is vibrating. Not sure what it is. I can only imagine, some of the cars from BeamNG, which is a physics simulator, more or less. A lot of people use the cars, but if you could 3D print those cars, that'd be cool. Or somebody wants their personal vehicle scanned and make a 3D model of it and print it. What's everybody think of 3D printing anyways? I know the University of Maine in Orono, they 3D printed a full-size lobster boat. I know that there's companies out there that are 3D printing houses out of concrete. What about, 3D printing roads? Or 3D printing tunnels? 3D printing cars? I mean, everything except for the rubber components of a vehicle or the wiring. Everything else can be 3D printed, I'm sure. I'm guessing Minecraft was the hot topic this morning, because every time I mention Minecraft, the numbers start to go up again. Something in the back. It's weird. Okay, we're like 3/4 of the way there. I know I've got to stop at the Salmon Club and use the bathroom. Oh, here's an interesting thing. We've got daylilies in our yard where, you know, I've propagated from daylilies that are at my mom's house. And I did some homework on the daylilies, and I guess every part of the plant is edible, especially the tubers that grow in the ground. It's almost like a potato. That is annoying. Wish I could figure out what it was. So I've still got 2 daylilies that need to be split up, and it's probably going to make like 6 little daylily plants. We're going to harvest some of the tubers from them, so they put more energy into growing tubers than to putting out roots, I guess. We're going to do some experiments anyways. We're going to clean up and see what the tubers look like after they've cured a little bit, see if they shrink or anything like that, and we're going to eat them. Nuggets Aviation. Yes, I remember the name. Today, so probably since the last time you've been on, I've changed up how the show works a little bit. So today is Whatever Wednesday. We talk about whatever people want to talk about. Friday is Farm Friday, where we talk about farming and gardening and homesteading, all that good stuff. And on Monday is Ministry Mondays, where we talk about Christianity and religion and how we experience that. So, Nuggets Aviation, what would you like to talk about today? Anything in particular? We've talked about all kinds of stuff. Music, going into space, I guess one person wanted to talk about. I've been talking about Minecraft stuff, planes. I used to, when I was a teenager, like 13, 14 years old, I was living in Virginia with my mom, and of course I have family here in Maine, and I would not fly the plane, but I would get on a plane and travel. So I have a little bit of experience of being a passenger on a plane. Big planes, little planes, like especially, you know, flying back to Virginia, flying out of Bangor International Airport. I was usually on a 18 to 30 passenger plane, just a little puddle jumper. Oh, I gotta pull down into the Salmon Club here. Excuse me for a moment. I gotta stop in here and use the bathroom real quick. I was gonna try and hold it until I got to the store, but I know there's a little outhouse down in here. Oh boy. That's what I get for chugging a cup of coffee before I left the house. Give me just a moment. Alright. You hungry? I don't usually eat breakfast. Oh, what are those growing? Those look like a thing. Some ditch lilies right there. And then something growing up here. Tulips or something? I don't know. So I had, let's see, 2 years ago now, I think, I had kidney stones. And ever since then, I've had a hard time holding off going to the bathroom from, the 45-minute commute to work. Usually I have to stop either there at the Salmon Club, or I can hold it until I get to the store in town here. That's all right, Nuggets. I've just been rambling pretty much the whole ride. I guess they're doing some kind of... You ever... I don't know what it's called, but every once in a while on some of the roads up here in Maine, they have these things across the road. It looks like a insulated, power line, but it's not. They're I don't know if they're testing to see how fast people are going or how much traffic goes through the area. It's usually 2 lines, kind of to pick up traffic there. Ooh. I do feel better though. Has anybody got flowers growing in the yard? I mentioned the daylilies that we've got. They're also called ditch lilies. They grow just about anywhere. Anybody got tulips or daffodils or roses? We've got a little baby rose bush that we're trying to rehabilitate. See, there's another wire or whatever across the road. It's weird. Oh. Where's everybody from? That's always a good one. A lot of people know that I'm in Maine. I do like to find out where people are from. I mean, you don't have to give me your address, but state if you're in the United States, or country if you're somewhere else. I've had people from all over the world get in the comments. People from Turkey, to the UK, Peru, a lot of people from the US. I look at my analytics every once in a while and can see that, some people are from, most people that watch are from the United States. Oh, what a gloomy start to the day, though. Oh, overcast. I don't even know if it's supposed to clear out or get considerably warmer. Or... My wife was telling me that the temperatures are going to be cooling off here the next couple of days, so shouldn't be too bad, though. Usually by May 15th, we don't have any more freezing overnights. So I should be all right to plant out the plants that my grandmother got from Arbor Day Foundation. I see a lot of people with plants, I don't know if they put them in the wrong spot or they haven't treated them very well, but plants that are dying, they're not in the right, right spot, I guess. Because there are plants that prefer pretty much full shade, and then there's other plants that prefer pretty much full sun. Where you going? A little bit over that yellow line. Another wire in the road. I think they're measuring how much traffic flows through. Ooh, there is a pile of stuff there. But it's too late to do cuttings. Well, I guess it's not too late. I'm just waiting for things to start putting out green growth. Because it's like spring and fall aren't really a good time to take cuttings from plants. Usually it's either the middle of summer or when the plants are dormant. Like a lot of evergreens, conifers, those are, you can take hardwood cuttings of those in the wintertime when they're dormant, or in the summertime when they're actively growing. You see green growth on something, it means you can usually take cuttings from it, or growth, because not everything's green. Maple trees, those are red. Get to play this game. Cool. Well, at least it's not all the way back by Parodies. Oh my word. That house is for sale again. It'd be a nice house, live real close to work. And another wire. Isn't that strange? Like, the only thing I can think of is that they're measuring how much traffic flows through. I don't know. It's hooked up to a little box. The box is just sitting there. It's like it gets a little beep every time a car drives over it and measure how many beeps. I mean, it's probably a pretty simple system. Probably a little battery pack in there. Ooh, ooh. Nice Civic. It's not an SI, but it is a two-door. Speaking of Civics, my wife was showing me this Civic on Marketplace. They only want $200 for it, so it probably needs a lot of work. It is a manual, but it is a four-door. It would be a blast to have something like that. I miss driving a manual, for sure. Would be cheaper on gas than my 6-cylinder truck here. I've had several Civics in the past, but they've all been two-door manuals, which are getting harder and harder to find, of course. CHR3BMB. What does that mean? Well, we're almost to the end of the show, so if anybody wants to get in the comments, get their voice heard. Take a guess at how many cars are going to be in the parking lot this morning. That wasn't very bright. This person was parked on my side of the road, decided to pull out into traffic, and then immediately take a left down a side street. Kind of weird. I'm going to guess that the parking lot is full. Steven, driving this short bus. Surprised you remembered what vehicle I'm driving. Let's see, am I going to grab this green light? Renewal by Anderson. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see if I even have a parking spot. Because sometimes that's a thing too. I have to fight for a parking spot. Let's see. What does it look like? It's always a surprise because I can't see it from the road. I don't get to see it until... Oh my word. What are we doing, boys? I don't see anybody's car. I see a bunch of cars that need work. Okay. I guess we got a few minutes because nobody else is here. Not that I can tell anyways. What? I'm trying to figure out what this vibrating sound is. Weird. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Weird. Guess I'll shut the truck down. Save on some gas, but 20 minutes till we open up and nobody's here. It must be bug season because even down here, I mean, there's a little bit of swamp behind work, but very strange. The boss asked me to be here for 8, and of course I wanted to be a little early to get in, get some coffee, but nope. Nobody's here. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I'm getting wood chips this afternoon. I was telling people earlier in the stream that I'm going to go over to a friend's house and try to help him stream himself doing a whole different thing. We'll see how that goes, I guess. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Go check out some of the content on the channel. I took a couple of weeks off from shoveling wood chips, and yesterday was my first load since I had a bunch of people at my house. But we'll be making more progress on that south plot. Go check that out. There'll be a lot more shorts on some of the plants that I'm growing out for the nursery. The Norway spruce and the lilacs I'm going to be planting out once I get home. I'll do a short on that. But until next time, enjoy.